Kevin Feige is feeling a little bit of regret for casting um Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One. Um, Let me see what he had to say here. Let's see. He says, hold on, let me see if I can zoom in on this for you. We thought we were being so smart and so cutting edge. We're not going to do the cliche of the wizard, old wise Asian man, but it was a wake up call to say, well, wait a minute. Is there any other way to figure it out? Is there any other way to both not fall into the cliche and cast an Asian actor? And the answer to that, of course, is yes. So, what's interesting about this here is let's not act as though this wasn't a political move by Marvel from the jump. Okay. Marvel, first of all, let me just say that Tilda acted her role very well. There's no, I don't think anyone is going to have any issue about how well or poorly, whatever. There's no question about the performance. The performance was there, it was done well. To be honest, I didn't really think twice about it. However, it's also because we're talking about a question of representation, right? I'm not Asian. So certain things with the Asian community are not going to resonate with me as much as it would for them. So for me, I just kind of stayed back on this whole situation because I didn't really, I'm like, well, I'm not Asian. How does the Asian community feel about this? Did they feel slighted? Did they feel some type of way? I don't know, but there was protests. There were issues. People were mad about this. Okay. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people did have reservations about the fact that, like, yo, this was a traditionally Asian character. That's a role y'all could have given to an Asian actor, and you opted to rewrite the script. You opted to avoid any backlash in China because let's be honest, y'all. Come on, man. Disney knows where the money resides, and that is in China. China got that big money. Okay, that's you don't want. There's I told y'all before. You know why we ain't seen Mephisto? They want that China money because China, they don't deal with the devil's demon, looking characters and stuff. They don't like that. They don't like ghosts and stuff. So you ain't gonna see that kind of stuff over there. And Marvel will hide certain things. Okay. So there was definitely protests about this. They rewrote the Ancient One's whole background to say that she was not of Tibetan descent, and that they wanted to make her instead of Celtic descent. They found an interesting way to kind of like speak about this too, right? So this was Scott Derrickson, who directed Doctor Strange. And what he said in regards to the protests at the time, diversity in movies is absolutely the responsibility of producers and directors. In this movie, we have about as diverse as a cast as I think you can get. And that was a very conscious decision. Tilda was a way of adding diversity in terms of not just an ethereal, enigmatic, otherworldly actress playing an ethereal, enigmatic, otherworldly character, but we're bringing a middle-aged woman who's not 28 years old in leather pants into the Marvel universe in a major role. So basically, the diversity with Tilda, for according to Marvel, according to them, was we're bringing in an older white female because older white females in Hollywood don't necessarily get, I guess, the same attention as like, a hot Scarlett Johansson in leather pants or whatever. Y'all couldn't find no other roles for Tilda Swinton? No other roles? I Marvel's just doing too much. They're just doing too much. Matter of fact, what was it? It was just in the news. WandaVision almost had Doctor Strange cameo, according to Kevin Feige. But why did that not happen? According to him, some people might say, oh, it would have been so cool to see Doctor Strange. But it would have taken away from Wanda. which is what we didn't want to do. We didn't want the end of the show to be commoditized to go to the next movie. Here's the white guy. Let me show you how power works. First of all, I don't know who would have walked away with that impression. If Doctor Strange would have came through, by the way, he was one of my top predictions of the show. So I like the fact that it was going to happen, but then they took it out. So I still feel validated that I predicted it just because they, took it out later, whatever. Now, I agree to an extent about the whole idea of like, Wanda's distraction if Doctor Strange showed up. First of all, stop it. Because if you had thrown Doctor Strange in as a post-credit scene, wasn't nothing going to be taken away from Wanda at all. Nothing. Even if you made him, nobody is even saying that you had to make Doctor Strange the white savior, the white guy savior, or whatever they were thinking, whatever they were afraid of. You could have just literally made him another person who was trying to help her. And maybe because it was established that she's more powerful potentially than the Sorcerer Supreme, maybe he just couldn't do it. What were so many people saying about Doctor Strange? Bro, you got one job, and that is to police magic. Where were you? What were you doing? So now y'all got to explain what he was doing, since you didn't want to be too woke. You didn't want to be overly woke and include him in there. So now this whole thing with, Tilda, and now you expressing your regret and stuff. I mean, he's saying that whitewashing was the wrong move and stuff. Bro, this is one of the main reasons why and yes, y'all already know what channel you on. So yes, I'm going to talk about recast T'Challa. This is my point when I talk about I'm not putting all my blind faith into Marvel, especially when it comes to Black representation. Sometimes they overthink things. They overthought things with WandaVision. They clearly overthought things with the Ancient One and Doctor Strange and Tilda. And y'all mean I'm supposed to sit here and just trust them with Black Panther 2 and the franchise moving forward? I'm supposed to trust them to understand the complexity of Black representation versus the compromise that's currently being peddled out? And yes, it is a compromise to give us Shuri and take away T'Challa. It's a compromise. What people don't get, and I've said this before, there's a difference between people thinking that, like, hey, we have more Black faces. Boom, there you go. That's quantity. But we also want quality. If you just have a whole bunch of Black faces and most of them, the vast majority, are all supporting roles, that's not great representation. But if you have more leading Black roles, more quality Black roles, that's stronger representation. So I'm not, like I've been saying, I'm not against Shuri. I want to see Shuri take the mantle. I'm cool with that. But I also want to see T'Challa exist. I want to see T'Challa support her, because I think it's also very important to see a strong Black man support and uplift and back up a strong Black woman. I think that is amazing representation. And then maybe in Black Panther 3, we see two strong Black superheroes, man, woman, going at it. Have y'all seen a tandem like that on screen? I don't recall one. That's what I'm talking about with representation. We're talking about the same people, by the way, Marvel Studios. We're talking about the same people who had questions about giving African accents to African people in Black Panther. Chadwick Boseman had to sit there and be like, he had to fight them to be like, no, they don't need British accents. And we supposed to just sit back and be like, oh no, Marvel's got it. Oh yeah, Marvel, they can take care of it. Yeah, they got it. No, I don't trust them. I'm sorry, but not sorry. This is why I say recast T'Challa is not about fans just getting their Marvel stories. That's a small part of it. It's about Black representation and making sure it can do what the original content, the source material intended T'Challa was created to be the embodiment of representation. Wakanda was created to be something that has never existed in the real world. We've never had a black country that was independent, never influenced, never colonized, never enslaved, and was technologically advanced in the entire world. We've never had that. Black Panther, the concept, the mantle, the franchise, the character of T'Challa, all of that is to push black representation forward. So when we sit there and go backwards, taking characters, lead characters off the board, trying to introduce new characters that maybe people will care about it, maybe they won't. What are you doing? So I'm sorry. I can't trust when I see stuff like this, when I see, Kevin Feige out here now regretting, this move or that move, I can already envision him if they kill T'Challa in Black Panther 2. I can already see the headlines 3, 4, 5, 10 years from now. Man, maybe we shouldn't have gotten rid of the one first leading black character in the MCU, the first leading black character in mainstream comics for 55 years. I regret it. Yes. Oh, look at Cuzzo. Cuzzo's in the house. I think if Marvel sticks to their guns and doesn't recast T'Challa, Feige will regret that decision as well. Yes, indeed, but Cuzzo. I think they will. I think they honestly will regret not recasting T'Challa. Again, people think that they're going to reboot. I don't know what if you've been paying attention, but when Marvel does these phases in 5-year chunks and they barely scratch the surface, we ain't got Young Avengers yet. We ain't got Fantastic Four yet. We ain't got the mutants yet. We ain't got like Galactus yet. Doom. Y'all really don't realize how much potential they have. They ain't run out of ideas yet. They're literally going down to the bottom of the barrel of ideas and source material before they even go to the big guns. And y'all really think they about to recast? Let me tell you something. T'Challa took 50 years. It took 50 years for Marvel to have the guts to put their most prominent black character on the big screen. And if you read, like, I want to say Bob Iger or whoever's book or whatever, there was resistance then. It was Kevin Feige, shout out to him for sure, that made the push to, make Black Panther a thing, but it took 50 years. So you mean to tell me it took 50 years for that man to make to get to the big screen? We only got him for like a couple small bits in a couple movies and one feature-length movie within like a 4 or 5 years time span. And then now you about to get rid of him forever? And give us all the supporting characters? Can all black characters elevate, please, at the same time? Like, why is this such a hard concept for people to understand? You can elevate. See, I think it's just because we're not used to this. I think it's because we're not used to seeing and doing what Black Panther is all about. Y'all have to realize Black Panther is about pushing boundaries. It's not just about seeing black faces. That's not what it's about. It's about these characters that live up to different ideals within black representation. And it comes in all different forms. All different forms. Sexual orientation, marriage, fighting, politics. Like it, I'm telling you, Black Panther as a whole property is loud. It's loud. Don't settle for less. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, well, hey, look, I've said this before. I think Ryan Coogler is amazing. I think the brother is a genius. But at the same time, he's still human. At the same time, whenever people are close to emotional situations, it can impair judgment. It's possible. I'm not saying it is for sure, but it is possible. But that is just the only reason I'm not putting blind faith and just assuming that they're just going to do whatever is best for the property. I think they're going to do whatever they feel is right. But people can do what they feel with the best intentions and still go about it the wrong way. Again, case in point. Hello. Like, I'm sure they felt like they were doing the right thing, and then later on, not so much. So,
Thank you so much for watching. This was just a segment of one of my live chats, and if you're interested in joining in on the next one, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications for more. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.